So today we'll show you how perspective grids work in many interesting ways, and how this kind of surreal illustration actually, it's very simple perspective. It's just 3 vanishing point perspective grid. Today we'll show you how perspective grids work. Okay, yeah, maybe I can draw here a little. So so here you can see we have stairs, and these stairs, right? These lines showing us direction of y-axis. This will be our y-axis, vertical axis. Then this one, these lines will be z-axis, and this, and this, all this, it's x-axis. So we have, again, as usual, there is just three set of line. Just so let me show you. So we look this y-axis is have a convergence, like in a 3 vanishing point perspective. So it's kind of like a camera looking up in a 3 vanishing point perspective, kind of this. So we can say, like, this grid is for figure here on the ground. This kind of his perspective grid, and then all other is like hallucination. So this are y-axis. Then let's see. Let's see for x-axis from here. Let's define some kind of this. So this will be our x-axis. So like I always teach, we have two lines and we draw in between, so divide them. And like this, but opposite will be z. So let's see. So here we have two lines for z, and then I draw in between. Okay, so this our perspective grid here, just like that. Nothing really complicated. It's not so hard like draw fisheye perspective with a tilted horizon line and all this like a 6-point perspective. So then we draw this composition. So now here is more complex, it's arrangement of elements. So kind of creating this tangle of stairs. So when you really understand, when you try it, when you practice, and you understand how perspective grids works, you will see how convenient it is, how much easier it became for you to draw in perspective. Like first of all, it's like when you understand basic principles, is nothing you can draw anything with. That's kind of idea of basics of foundation, like essential knowledge, because they're very multifaceted, they're universal, and they just open a world of opportunity for you. Hello, Buddy. So like it was before in some stream was talk, like I forget, somebody say in the comments, like Escher is a perspective artist, kind of. Like I will say, I will call rather perspective artist like Tsutomu Nihii, and because his perspective more kind of more fancy for me, or maybe who else, like Ryan Berry perspective even more complex. Escher, he is surrealist. His thing is like how he composes this like surreal puzzles, and it's more about shapes, kind of. It's more about this visual tricks. Так. So talking about what perspective you need for comic books, you can see this perspective grid system, kind of technique, method. It's suitable for almost everything. I mean, it's just a very essential thing. Так. So now, just because I have already clear understanding of a perspective grid, it's very easy to draw this environment. It's just like I don't know, it's like a piece of cake. Of course, it's different from, like, I can imagine how hard it was to invent this kind of composition. That was a really interesting task. Like, imagine, right, to draw the stuff before anyone else draw. This is how I feel many times when I draw my own illustrations, like when I need to figure out composition for some very complex view. Так, some kind of this. And this is also a good example of how like kind of how many options you have with essential tools. This is what I also was talking about. So like, one thing, you read the book first time, you do some couple example drawings, couple exercises, and you feel like you learn it, but it's not, it's just kind of first step. Then you need to explore a kind of possibility of these techniques, like try it in a different cases, see what you can do with this. So it's like same 3 vanishing point perspective grid, but with this you can create crazy surreal illustration. So he must have like 100 of variations in his exploration drawing, kind of, before he find out this composition. Interesting. Maybe there is some book or museum where we can see this works, like how he been searching for this composition. There's some dude having lunch. Here. So you see, it's just like this certain barrier you need to break, and like teach your brain just to understand how simple principle is in perspective, that like no matter how many stuff here and no matter like how it's turned around, it's always only 3 set of line. We always have this y, z and x, or you can call this x and you can call this z. It's not big difference. So lines parallel to z, lines parallel to x, and lines parallel to y. You can watch my tutorials, a lot of tutorials about this, about perspective grids, different kind of perspective. So then we can put some figures. Так. So let's see. Same, I use directions. Так, we have figure here, figures there. Here. I can put one more finger here. Here. Here's some couple walking in a park. Then here. So you see again this x, z. And here funny, this funny one. I mean, it's all picture here is funny, but here especially funny, like these stairs, right? Here it's change for this direction. So here guy go down, and here immediately it's change for other guy walking up. Так. Here on balcony. This guy. Then here we have the stairs from basement and some dude walking from basement here. So if you're tired from drawing boxes all the time, you can try this. So it's just about, like I say, first of all, it's always about kind of train your eye and train your kind of thinking process. So more you do kind of perspective operations, you know, when you like need to figure out like how structure works in particular case. So more you do this, more fluent you will become. It's just at first it's absolutely unnatural for you. It feels like you will never be able to do this. More you do, more confident you became, and then it feels like you're born with this skill. People will look at your drawings, say like, oh, it looks so easy when you draw. Yeah, after a couple thousand drawings I did. Of course, it's kind of always about this. It's just about training until you good at it. It's never about like searching for super advice which will change you forever. Like, I wish somebody tell me that, so I will be like master of perspective immediately. No. No. You wish to hear, actually, what you wish to hear. It's somebody tell you you need to practice. That's what you need to hear. Так. Okay. So now just let's draw some line art. So I doubt you will find video about Escher on YouTube. So I hope you like it and share it somewhere to kind of help my channel to grow. So we'll do more tutorials in the future. because if I see people support it, if I see it's growing and there is kind of positive reaction for my video, it kind of motivates me to make more video for sure. Also, I'm glad to read your comments. If you will write just anything, just how you study perspective, like what books you read about perspective, how long you practice, also why you need perspective, what kind of art you are doing, what kind of tutorials you want to see in the future. Because it's not real interaction kind of, so if you don't write comment, I don't even know you've been on my channel. So when you write comment, it's kind of creates certain interaction and dialogue. So I see kind of people, like real people, watch my videos. So, and I see what they think about my videos and stuff like this. So it's more feel like I'm communicating with people, like in some kind of art class in a workshop, instead of just sitting with a camera, kind of, talking to camera. Cool, thank you, Bully. Yeah, yeah. I will slowly put more videos about my personal creative projects. Now it's like my first bunch of videos. They're more technical, more general, about essentials, but then slowly I will put more and more just to show my own work process and like my projects, kind of what I draw, like kind of drawing comic book pages, drawing illustrations, and drawing characters for comic book, stuff like this. So like people will always able to look my early videos like this when I talk about how to draw in perspective and stuff, like more general kind of tutorials. and also I like to kind of gather some audience for my projects. Just, you know, like kind of artist to artist communication. So it's kind of like, yeah, I want it to be some kind of artist environment, you know. So it's, you know, like in some kind of good art college, or maybe convention where you can meet different artists, and you can learn something about just general skills, like just how to learn technique, but also you can watch sometimes art process, you can watch sometimes like some like personal techniques and you know, inventions in a process, like how different artists work. So since, you know, it's like I keep this in mind, like kind of like perfect goal for this channel. It's also if it will grow big enough to invite my favorite artists to interview them, to just ask about their process or ask about their learning curve, how they learn. So it's always nice to hear directly from artists without guessing. So here. I'm interested, like, do you watch now this Squid Games? Because they kind of have homage for this Escher stairs. Relativity. So here is like round edge. So everyone who feel like frustrated and uncomfortable with perspective, like, tell you for sure it's not so hard as it seems. It's only hard about changing your habit and attitude, so you kind of need to fine-tune your creative process to kind of invite more analytical aspect to your work. So, and it's you will realize it's not only about perspective, this kind of ability to balance your rational thinking with kind of free creative process, like when intuitive kind of drawing, right? When you're able to balance it, then you able to create some professional quality work, because it's equally important. You cannot make good work if it's only kind of measured and calculated, and in same time you cannot make good work if you are not able to process properly. If you cannot like slow down sometimes and just be very logical and kind of, you know, something like if you're making calculations on a algebra classes. So it's kind of, you can compare perspective to geometry, but it's kind of very basic, some kind of arithmetic level, very basic arithmetic. You just need to kind of track some very basic parameters, so like not bigger than 10, you know. So I assume like for adult people, like make calculations with numbers below 10, it should be easy task. So, and when you do like get through kind of process of like kind of understanding how to, like how perspective principles work, how to apply these principles, then it feels fun, easy, but also you will feel like you want it to be challenging. You actually want it to be a little hard, because you will miss this time when you struggle with it, and it was like this moments when you like finally you understand how to do this, you know. This kind of, it's like a solving puzzle, solving riddle. There is so many of this kind of, you know, leisure puzzles without practical use, and here you go, here is like actual useful puzzle. It's like it's very beneficial, very practical, but and also it's kind of not really much more complicated than solving some kind of computer game puzzle, like, I don't know, Indiana Jones or stuff like this. Just treat it like you are playing some interesting game. like for me, I have a lot of tricks like this. You know, there is something you like to do and something you don't like to do, but you know it's important, like you should do this, right? So trick is to combine, to make for yourself, make it look like this somehow related to stuff you like to do. So you know, like there is this all kind of games like Call of Duty, all the stuff. So it's fun to play, and it's fun, like, you know, run with rifle in a game, like, but it's not so fun to run in real life for like for 30 minutes non-stop, right? So when you, but in real life you can say yourself like, wait a second, it's some kind of like my favorite computer game, so let me kind of disassociate from my pain and more like focus on visual and some kind of this other aspect of this experience. Is that like I'm running here, and I might be like running in some kind of like secret task, kind of for like a James Bond, you know. So I was like long time ago when I was work at home, like I need to, what we did, we did like water pipes, need to put water pipes underground. So it's like I was at home, it was like my summer vacation, maybe from school. So my father go to work and he give me task. He say like, okay, you need to dig trench, kind of like, how's it called, dig for pipes. So it's like 1 meter, yeah, I think it's like about 1 meter deep, half meter wide maybe, yeah, something like about half meter wide, 1 meter deep, and like 30 meter long. So it's pretty dig, pretty big hole. It's like you need to dig a lot. So I have this shovel kind of, and I dig earth, and it's like, you know, it's super boring, of course. It's like, no, who I am, why I need to dig this, I'm a better than that and stuff, you know. You're whining, you don't want to do this. But then I say like, okay, let's imagine this is kind of World War II scenario, and like my commander, he give me task. He say like, hey, we need to dig trenches, because like tomorrow it's like here will be this Nazi tanks, and you know, like battlefront will be here. So it's kind of like up to you. If you want everybody die, or you want to prepare for battle, kind of, right? So you have different motivation. It's like, yeah, definitely I better have trench. So, and I kind of like imagine like I'm there and I just digging, and like I have like huge, like all my hands being like destroyed, like completely destroyed hands. But it's from some very boring, mundane task, it's became kind of interesting challenge. I was just like test myself, like if this kind of scenario, can I manage it? Like, do I have power in me to kind of stand out, not like, you know, not give up, and kind of survive, stuff like that. So same after I use a lot this kind of approach when I draw outdoors. This might be like super tired, like your leg pain, your back have crazy pain, you know, like all day you walk, then you need to stand to draw. And I say like, okay, what if I'm kind of like a sniper at World War II? So nobody care like how uncomfortable is. This kind of my duty. I need to handle it. So it's kind of like you give up your life, or you find power in yourself to get through it and win kind of in a challenge. So, and then about some more like less kind of epic scenario, it was like I start to imagine about everything. So let's say like I need to clean house, right? So you think like, okay, clean house, it's actually like make a drawing, because before I clean house, I have this kind of scene, I have this kind of view, I have this like composition I don't like. And when I clean house, I change in composition. I change composition of my living space. So instead of treating it like I'm kind of like a cleaning worker, right? I start treat it like I'm interior designer, like or 3D artist. So to clean house, it's like a build model of my house, where it's a much nicer kind of atmosphere. So, and you can really feel it. It's like it's from boring task, it became like a very interesting interactive 3D modeling process kind of, because it's even funnier, it's even more interesting than working in 3D, than working in VR, because you have so many real life sensations kind of, right? You can really feel how you interact, you can really feel how you, like, you can feel your changes, you can feel how you change space, you can feel how it's perceived when you move one object here, or you move this object there, or when you change texture of space. So instead of some scattered dust, I don't know, there's like some clean shiny surface. So kind of being with yourself, like with your kid, right? It's like, because there's also a kind of psychology theory about inner child, right? So I think it's like a Bern, maybe it's a Bern psychology. So it's talking about like your inner child, he wants to, this like emotions, he want to play, but your inner adult, he have all this task you need to do. He have like, he need to care about money, he need to care about health, need to care about everything. And there is like inner parent also. So you kind of like you need to be clever parent of your inner child. So you kind of say like, okay, yeah, I know you don't like do this. Let's imagine this is something you really like to do. Let's make it fun together, kind of. Hello, cold muffin. So this is kind of trick. Now I have second cat. Cat. I want more cat. No in cats. Yeah, so this must be like a very famous artwork of Escher. It's called Relativity. So let me write. The relativity. Oh, what's this? So, and you see again how you can even like turn this perspective grid around and make like completely your own version of this, and just show you how it works. Maybe like next video I can do like to draw something absolutely different, but with same idea, like exploring every angle of one perspective grid. Так. Let's check what happened here. So there is also interesting metaphor about this inner personalities. So let's say if yourself it's car, I might get quite so no. If yourself it's a vehicle, and there is like driver's seat, co-pilot seat, and two passenger seats, right? So you can put for your driver can be parent or adult, or you can put your child to drive your car. So, and trick is like if you put child to draw your car, yeah, he can crush it somewhere. Because like maybe he can drive in some special place. Like maybe you want to give your child to experience how to drive car, to have some fun. But if you let him to draw in the city, he don't know much about rules. He don't know like kind of how to manage these complex situations with many cars on the road, you know. So there must be, at least in the car must be an adult and parent, at least. So don't make like everyone in the car to be children. And also it's like interesting metaphors there. They say if you will ignore children, it will be not happy, kind of, right? So it's about if you will ignore your desires, kind of your dreams, like you want, for example, like you want to create and stuff like that, right? So yeah, you want to create, but also you need money for survival. So you need to find how to make it all together, how to be artist and make money from that, stuff like this. And then it's like you say like, okay, yeah, I drive through city, and then you give your children to drive within your property, just to learn how to drive car, just to make things, you know. No, I mean it's metaphor, it's not like about car, just about like give control, like so like me, like creative control, right? So I have some improvisation, kind of like this improvisation. It's when my inner child, he kind of just playing, having fun with like in the creative process. Without this, drawing will be too boring. Anyway, so I just make here simpler version. Okay, let's say like this. Okay. here. What's it doing?
始充电。开始充电。开始充电。
Hello, Antoine. Yes, Escher, he famous for his surreal perspective. And I have before also video about Escher reflective sphere, like this hand holding mirror sphere. Hello, Ave Wolf. Hello, Rainbow. Rainboot. Yeah, I have also video about drawing a reflective sphere. Actually, like 2 videos. You can look. It's like 6-point perspective, reflective sphere. Так. Yeah, thank you, Rainboot. Hello, Frog. Tornado Cafe. Yeah, watch my tutorials, you will be able to draw stuff like this. That's for sure. Here's like, you don't need born this way, you don't need like any special talent. Just need some theory. So somebody explain your theory of perspective. Yeah, and that's me. That's my channel talking about perspective, and not only perspective, also coloring, composition, urban sketch. So, you know, this kind of things, it's like magic, right? So these magic performances, it's look magical when you don't know how it works. So all perspective is like that. So it just looks incredible and unfeasible, kind of, when you don't know theory, when you don't really kind of understand it, concepts, principles, kind of. Because there's a lot of teachers who teach you like 5-step, 10-step drawing and all this stuff, but they don't really explain you principles. but only really knowing, really understanding principles, really understand like mechanic, give you ability to draw like very sophisticated, very complex
开始
work.
充电，
And it's not like it's very hard to do. It's just like more, some kind of like more iterations, but principles are very simple, very basic principles. And your ability to implement, to kind of use these principles depend on your experience. So as much you practice, how much mileage and perfect practice you have, this much you will be able to kind of efficiently use this perspective theory. Just like any other discipline, any other craft, you know, like no matter, it's like even same with the sport, dancing, car driving, martial arts, or whatever. It's same about this certain theory and training. So because only training give you real understanding through practice, kind of. Without this practice you don't really know what theory is about. It will be just like fancy terms. You can talk about them, but you cannot really use it. Just think what he doing here. Okay, let's be like a waiter. Experience glasses with a T. Then here we have kind of lunch table.
始充电。
Shadow here. Some happy couple, V and Panem, let's say, from Cyberpunk. Put some posters on the wall, some painting. Do. So this I have two brush pen with water and ink. Like previous stream I was talking about my art materials, so you can look there. So here is just ink diluted with water in a different ratio. One ink more dark, other ink like more bright. So I can do this kind of gradient here. Very convenient, like when you do some sketchbook stuff or like travel quick sketches. Just take this with you, like very mobile. And it's kind of work like a cheap substitution for Copic markers. Because Copic markers, same principle. You take light marker and more dark marker, and then you can make gradients mixing this two values kind of. Here.
开始充电。
Okay, so kind of that's it. You can watch from beginning. Here I explain perspective grids, and watch my previous tutorial about Escher sphere called reflective sphere. It's like mirror ball in the hand, you know, this famous drawing, famous illustration. So see you next tutorials.